Good afternoon, friends. We are Raj and Aradhana Asava, welcoming you to the HungerMitao segment on Fun Asia Radio. As you know, through this radio show, we raise awareness about the rampant hunger issue right here in North Texas and share ways in which each one of us, in the spirit of give where you live, can and is making a difference.
Welcome to the HungerMitao show. Please visit ntfb.org/HungerMitao to learn how this pure volunteer movement helps North Texas Food Bank in its fight against hunger. The website again is ntfb.org/HungerMitao.
Listeners, we hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. This year, Thanksgiving was quite different,
Yeah, it was.
with most of us celebrating this holiday without the larger family around us. Yet, this holiday held a special meaning this year. While so much around us is in turmoil and distress, it made us pause and think of everything we are grateful for: employment, family, good health, food on our table.
Raj, I'm so glad you included that last point. Food on our tables. That is such a blessing that we generally overlook. We just take it for granted. But this year, with so many families affected by the pandemic and with so much hunger around us, I'm sure people paused as they included access to food in their blessings to be thankful for.
And Aradhana, that feeling was evident in something that North Texans did on December 1. I call it the Giving Tuesday miracle. HungerMitao, an Indian American community-led movement, pledged a challenge match of $100,000 to everyone across North Texas this Giving Tuesday. That is essentially saying that the North Texas-based Indian American community will match dollar to dollar up to $100,000 raised in North Texas, benefiting our North Texas Food Bank on Giving Tuesday.
On that one day.
This was publicized widely to all NTFB supporters, volunteers, and community at large. And what did the large North Texas community do?
Wait, Raj. We have Diana Kao, Major Gift Officer at NTFB, along with her colleague Courtney Baggett, Director of Individual and Corporate Giving at North Texas Food Bank, joining us from the field to update us on the current hunger scene and to also provide results of Giving Tuesday.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear how impactful Giving Tuesday was.
Thank you for having us on, Anna and Raj. We do have some exciting news to share today, but I also wanted to take some time to reflect on what we've been seeing these last several months. I mean, Courtney, you and I have seen the needs just absolutely skyrocket in the last months since the pandemic began. Has anything surprised you about what the food bank has seen?
Hi, Anna and Raj. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having us on. Yes, I think this year has been full of surprises. The statistics that we've been seeing about hunger in North Texas and nationally are definitely surprising. Knowing that almost 200,000 more people are food insecure in this community is still hard to comprehend. I think to hear the statistics is one thing, though. To see them has been even more surprising. To see the lines of people miles and miles long waiting for food at our mobile distributions has been really hard. It's obvious the need is real when that many people show up and are willing to wait for that long for just a 25-pound box of shelf-stable food and some produce.
You know, Courtney, I absolutely agree. To see a number on a piece of paper is a completely different thing from seeing a face and taking the time to fully understand the impact this pandemic is having, not only globally, but from a person-to-person experience. And that is also why we're so thankful to have had the opportunity to participate in Giving Tuesday this week. I'm sure many listeners are familiar with the movement. It's a global movement created to inspire people to impact their communities. And this year, we were so excited when HungerMitao stepped up to help the food bank match any Giving Tuesday gifts up to $100,000.
Yes, we were just thrilled. We have the preliminary numbers in now, and they really show what an incredibly caring and generous community we have in North Texas. So we are very excited to share that with the help of HungerMitao, over 4 million meals will be provided to hungry North Texans. I feel like saying thank you isn't really enough, but from the bottom of my heart and from all of us at the food bank, thank you, HungerMitao, and thank you to all our friends who are so generously giving to make sure that others have food on the table.
Yes, thank you so much, HungerMitao, and thank you so much to our North Texas friends. And thank you, Anna and Raj, for having us on today so we could share a little bit of good news.
What incredible show of compassion, Raj. And what a proud day for HungerMitao, where the Indian American community's challenge motivated everyone across North Texas and yielded over 4 million meals in one day. Friends, this speaks to the sustained commitment all of us have made to fighting hunger.
Aradhana, in less than 24 hours, the North Texas community donated over $1,300,000 on December 1, Giving Tuesday, the highest that the food bank has ever received on any given Tuesday.
It's amazing. And we are so immensely proud of our partnership with North Texas Food Bank and extremely grateful for all they do to feed the hungry across the 13 counties of North Texas.
The Indian American community in North Texas has adopted fighting hunger as their main cause.
Yes.
That support has really helped NTFB feed the hungry. As you all know, this year the pandemic caused us all to stop in our tracks, rethink priorities as we watched households go through extreme challenges due to job displacement, economic hardship, physical and mental health issues, and hunger. Aradhana, while you and I have not served at a food distribution site because of shelter in place, etc., Trisha Cunningham, CEO of North Texas Food Bank, shared her experience through an article.
And this article was incredibly revealing. So this is what the article says. Early one morning in mid-November, Trisha Cunningham, the president of North Texas Food Bank, arrived at a sprawling fairground in southern Dallas that hosts the annual State Fair of Texas. 4 lines of cars snaked for miles from the entrance toward the skyscrapers downtown. Some of the drivers had arrived the night before and slept in their cars, waiting for a box of food that would help them get through Thanksgiving. By the end of this year, more than 50 million people could experience food insecurity, according to Feeding America. That is 1 in 6 Americans and 1 in 4 children, nearly a 50% increase from 2019. A Northwestern University study in June found that food needs have doubled nationally and tripled for households with children. The pandemic has laid bare how many people are just one paycheck or medical emergency away from hunger.
No wonder those long lines. In October, Feeding America's network of food banks and pantries distributed some 548 million meals, up 52% from an average month before the pandemic. These mind-blowing numbers.
These numbers absolutely are mind-boggling.
When the fairgrounds gates opened in Dallas for the Thanksgiving distribution, volunteers waved cars through rows of orange cones to receive a 15-pound box of produce, dry goods, and a loaf of bread and the main course. In a typical year, the North Texas Food Bank holiday distribution serves around 500 people. This year, when the gates closed, they had sent 8,500 people home with more than 500,000 pounds of food.
Yeah, you've got to just pause and think about that a little bit. So before the pandemic, The food bank's clientele was largely employed people who needed extra help to make ends meet. And now, many of them told Cunningham they had lost their jobs. And a third of those being served, this is astonishing, folks, a third of the people being served had never needed food assistance before.
Before the COVID-19 crisis, the 13 counties served by the North Texas Food Bank had measured the lowest levels of food insecurity since the 2008 recession. Today, however, the number served has risen by almost a third. To meet the demand, an additional 90 semi-trucks loaded with food arrive each month. Identical scenes are playing out in cities, towns, rural regions, every zip code across America.
Listeners, HungerMitao plays the role of bringing this reality to you and to ask for your continued engagement in helping take care of communities and neighborhoods we live in. Thank you for your compassion, for your care and donations, especially this year. But as this need for food assistance stays high, we ask you to please continue to give if you are able to.
Humanity has gone through a really hard time this entire 2020. Now, with the vaccine in sight, we feel like there is a light at the end of this dreaded tunnel. However, the current elevated need for food assistance will last for most of next year as people try to stabilize their lives in the new norm, whatever this new norm may look like.
Our mission, friends, as you know, is HungerMitao. And HungerMitao is as much about eradicating hunger as it is about unifying the fragmented efforts of our community, focusing it on the humanitarian cause of hunger. Let us come together as the entire Indian American community,
Unified.
and show how any place we call home benefits from our presence.
North Texas Indian American community, thank you. Thank you for caring, for volunteering, for helping organize awareness events, for running food drives, for making donations, for becoming multi-year donors, for giving your time, for giving in kind, and of course, thank you, Fanasia, for becoming a very effective mouthpiece for HungerMitao.
So until next week, friends, remember, we may never be able to eradicate hunger, but let us ensure no one goes hungry.
Hello friends, this is Bharat and Meena Trivedi.
Varsha and Dilip.
Sapna
and Gaurav Lal
Suvarna Arya
and Manoj Khadi.
Ilanga
Sejal Desai
Smita
and Vivek Chaudaha.
Anjali Desai
T and Deepak Arora.
Pawan
and Rinki Agrawal
Sid
And Archana Nair.
Danny
and Rinku Mehta
and Sunil Kiani
Priyanka
and Vinay Kedia.
I'm Johnny Jenkins.
Kiran Fincher
Raj,
And Aradhna Asava.
together,
We support
HungerMitao!